Welcome into the first ever episode of Truth Be Told. I am joined by my co-host, Caroline Jaravicious, star volleyball player of the Penn State National Championship volleyball team.
Hi, guys. Happy to be here.
Thank you for coming in, Caroline. And we figured we'd kick this series off by starting out a Q&A. So Caroline and I took to the interwebs and asked you guys to give us some questions. So we'll go back and forth between the questions we got. I think some of them a lot of mine were for Caroline. A lot of people are interested to know a lot about her. So we might as well kick this thing right off. And it is Truth Be Told. You're going to get the real, raw, dead truth out of us here. First one was from Ralph on Twitter. He said, what was it like growing up in a house where your father was a professional athlete? Did you find that to be a benefit or kind of an unwanted pleasure? Unwanted pressure for your own athletic ambitions and goals. So did you find that and I think that could be double-edged sword.
Well, Ralph, do you want me to trauma dump? Because I will. Kidding. I think that it definitely molded me into the athlete that I am today. Like I'm a pretty intense person. Landon can attest to that.
This is true.
And I think I did inherit that from my dad, and also the fact that there was really there were room for mistakes, but were there really? No. So I kind of have always had to be on my shit kind of since the day that I picked up a volleyball or a basketball or whatever it was. Like the extra work and all that type of stuff, like that started pretty early. Like there wasn't really let's just go to practice for an hour, like little league t-ball. No, like I had to go home and do reps after and get conditioning down. And he had a ladder for me, and then he built a sand court, and then we would do hill drills. And when I wasn't paying attention, he would kick a ball down the ravine for me to mentally reset. I love you, Dad. Thank you for everything. And then it was also just funny in high school that I kind of had to keep everything on track because I grew up in Cleveland and I went to high school in Cleveland, and Jaravicious was a bigger name in especially the Catholic school circuit because of the high school that he went to. So I just kind of had to keep everything really, really tight. And that drove me insane because I felt like there wasn't really room for error. And I think that still kind of translates to today. But I'm a better person for it. So that's the answer, Ralph.
Yeah. High pressure, but high pressure makes diamonds, right?
Yeah, I'd
say that.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's for sure. That's the truth.
Okay. Landon.
Yes,
What's your favorite position other than the one you play?
Oh, so I played offensive line. I would have liked to play tight end. That'd have been fun. A little Tyler Warren action. Every big guy's dream is to score a touchdown, which I did do in little league. But yeah, everybody wants to. If you're a big guy that blocks, you want to catch the ball. You want to know what that's like.
I've seen so many TikTok compilations of just big guys running down the field. It's my favorite thing because they just look so happy.
There's no better feeling than when you're a big guy and you get the ball in your hands, and there's kind of this feeling of what do I do? And then you just
smiling.
Then you take off. It's there's no better feeling except we wear knee braces. So sometimes you'll run and your knee braces will catch.
Oh my God.
I did that. I was coming out. We did the little high school tunnel where everybody breaks the, they hold the wall of
the paper wall.
The paper wall, and you break through it.
So badass.
And, yeah, it was, right? You thought so. And then I ran through once and I tripped and fell because my knee braces caught on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of my
excuse was?
Yeah, probably my most embarrassing moment of just playing sports in general. I guess that's
or is that's another question that I'm just gonna riff with.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna go with that. I want your answer too. That's probably number one because it was in front of everybody. We were about to play Gonzaga, which was Caleb Williams' team, Olu Fashanu for those Penn State fans here, and it was a huge crowd. And I was one of the first ones coming out of the paper, and it was just boom, just face full of turf. So yeah, that's my number one. What do you got for most embarrassing just sport memory in your mind?
Yeah, I kind of have a thing for either A, getting clocked in the head with the ball.
I was thinking, did you ever just take one to the face?
Wait a minute. Okay, so I've gotten concussed before. And then the video of me getting concussed got posted all over AVP Twitter, my school's Twitter, their Instagram, and the caption was, "Who says volleyball's not a contact sport?"
Oh, damn, you were memed.
I was memed. I was literally memed because I got a concussion from my roommate and she clocked me during beach volleyball. And I turned around, I got smoked. The ball went 2 courts over and I turned around. I'm all right, let's go next one. And then 5 seconds later, I start bawling because I was concussed. And so I got memed in beach volleyball. Quite literally, that's not a joke.
Damn, concussed. And then you got, at least when I tripped, it didn't make it on the interwebs there. That's rough that you went semi-viral. Well, That's all right. You bounce back from it. You're doing good now.
I survived.
Absolutely. Number one question that a lot of people get. This one comes from Nittany Nation Recruiting. He said, "What artist does she listen to before a match, or do you have like a pregame song that you always go to?"
Man in the Box by Alice in Chains.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
It's really, really good. It's like...
Is it like a hype up song?
It's kind of grunge rock.
Okay.
I like it a lot because it kind of just puts me into that like headspace of... I don't even know how to describe it, because if anybody else like caught what I was listening to, they'd be like, "What?"
Yo, that's weird. That's real though. Sometimes you got songs on your pregame playlist that it's like,
You gotta like put that away. Like,
yeah, it's like, what are you listening to? But it's real. Everybody has those songs that gets them like that special mode.
Took Her to the O, King Von is another one that I listen to before every single game. And I'm just like sitting there with my like little hoop earrings, and I'm not really the type of person that should be listening
Like-
to Took Her to the O before I play a game. You wouldn't be expecting that that's blasting through my headphones.
That's true. Like Chicago like drill rap, for those that don't know. That's what Caroline's listening to pregame.
Well,
It's all right.
It gets the job done.
It gets you,
obviously.
clearly it did last
Got
year.
the job done.
Damn right.
Yep. Okay. So, do you remember your first big play in football?
Oh, well, that's harder because I played offensive line. Once again, a thankless position.
Thank you for all you do.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that. No, my biggest one I do remember was in 4th grade though, and there was a kickoff, and I was on the receiving team, and it just worked out to where I grabbed it and like broke through the line. It was my first. I had 2 touchdowns in my whole football career, and that was one of them. And I remember I was like looking back, I was literally holding the football like sideways, like it was like popped up like here, and I was holding it like this, and I ran for a touchdown. And so yeah, my first ever touchdown.
Big
Yeah,
guy
that was big guy dreams. Exactly. I was a fat little, especially I was even more fat as a kid. So it was like, then you were really, because as a kid, it's like everybody kind of gets to touch the ball, except if you're a fat kid. So it was like, I finally get to touch the ball.
Justice for fat kids.
Yeah, justice for fat kids that had to play offensive line and defensive line growing up. That's mine for sure. My first ever touchdown. What do you got?
I think mine was when I played regional volleyball. I was 12 years old and probably about 6 foot. I was probably the tallest girl in that little like club building that we had going on there. And I get set and I turn and I just crank the ball square into the middle of the net. But I remember like it kind of was just like a collective like because I cranked the ball, and I will never ever forget that. Like, I don't care if I hit the ball into the middle of the net. I don't care if I got blocked. I don't care if I hit it out of bounds. But like, I remember the strength in which I hit that ball, and I'm like, maybe like my dad's little stupid drills that he's having me do, like I kind of are working out here. So
Starting, yeah. When you get that realization, like, oh, maybe I can be really good at this.
yeah, that was probably like the like I kind of get it and I'm kind of addicted moment. I'm 12 years old.
When did you hit that growth spurt that like took you up to like, were you at like a somewhat normal height and then you just like shot up?
I was never a normal height.
Yeah, I feel that
been
one, sister.
99 percentile. I was born in Tampa, so I was living in Tampa till I was about 3 years old, and I was playing with this kid on the beach, and the kid's mom goes up to my mom and like, oh, like we should set up a play date for our kid. She's 5. And my mom's like, yeah, she's 2. I was 2 years old, the same height as this 5-year-old girl. So, and then I wasn't allowed to play on like those playpen things in the mall because I was too tall for them. And I'm quite literally 2 years old. Whereas like the 8-year-olds that were like 3 foot tall at the time could do whatever they wanted and they could get away with it. I just didn't have that opportunity.
I know that feeling too well, getting turned away from like rides.
No, I'm literally 5 years old.
I'm just a kid, literally. Please. Oh, you get sent home crying. That's probably the worst feeling.
It's okay. I survived.
Bunch of these questions are about your sister, Caroline. A lot of people want to know, what is it like to play with Ava and just be on the... Have you guys been on the same team previously?
Yeah, we won a high school state championship together when I was a senior.
Oh, that's really cool. Mm-hmm. So she just got here this coming... Like, she wasn't on the team this past season?
She was not on the team this past season. She got here in January, been here for 6 months, and she's doing so well. I'm so proud of her. She's a whack job, and she drives me insane. But, like, she's just funny. That's all I can say. She goes in, gets her work done, but she's just hilarious. I'm not saying like, you know how everybody on the team has like a personality person?
Absolutely.
She's a grinder and she's a hell of a volleyball player, but like her personality, she's just so funny.
You got to have those people on the team that make it like easy to get, because that makes it like when you have people that are funny and
I
that
can
like
name
crack
so many people that are just funny as hell on my team. And
who are the top? If you had to give like top 3 funniest people on the volleyball team,
I would say Kate Lally. If you're listening to this, love you, Kate. Ava Juravicious, myself.
There you go. You got to throw yourself in there. I know you, Caroline. You're pretty funny.
I try sometimes. But yeah, I'd say like the personality people, it's not like they're like, I mean, I'm not saying at all, like you can't be a personality person without like being a good athlete. But like when you're both like these three are, then like it's just fun. Mostly Kate and Ava. They're just funny people and they're great athletes and they're great workers. And I don't know. I just love being around them. Who would you say?
That's awesome. Oh, on the football team, it was Nick Dawkins. No question. Everybody knows it. Nick Dawkins was like the funniest guy, not bar none. Don't come across him in the locker room looking funny or you're going to get clowned on. And then the worst part is everything he says, people just find funny. So if he like puts a stamp on you of like whatever it is, you're like labeled that. It's like, oh yeah, you're that guy. Like Doc said, you're that guy. So if you're a freshman, watch out coming in. Nick Dawkins he's going to get you for sure.
A lesson for the youth.
There you go.
Okay. Is it you or me?
I think it's your turn.
Okay. If you didn't go to Penn State, where would you take your talents?
Ooh. Look, it was between Penn State and Notre Dame for me, but I don't know if I really could actually went to Notre Dame, which you did. You went out to the school in the middle of nowhere. We'll talk about it in a second. But for me, I was just like, I can't imagine myself actually having went out to the middle of nowhere in Indiana, but that would have been number 2. I would have been Notre Dame Fighting Irish. How about you?
Well, I already did what I needed to do.
Yeah, Penn State actually is your second.
Penn State is my second school. But I went to University of Nebraska, and I honestly, like, I am so glad that I experienced that because it's such a cool athletic program. And I mean, the girls, the arena, and the overall vibe of the like Nebraska fan base is just like, you really don't find it anywhere else like that in the country. And I mean, obviously it just wasn't for me. And there's like absolutely no hate and nothing but love for that program. But I mean, I kind of like hit my top 2 schools of where I wanted to go. So check both of those boxes.
Yeah, checklist is completed for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like weird to think about being anywhere else now at this point, which I'm sure for you. You got to play in the biggest women's volleyball game ever, right? It was in Nebraska Football Stadium.
Yeah, I was there. Didn't play, but
Damn.
I was there.
Part of the reason you left?
I mean, it was a interesting situation in that they didn't want to waste a season of my eligibility if I wasn't going to play. So they redshirted me after that match, and all the respect for that because now I have the gift of time and
Boom.
I'm able to do what I want here for the next 3 years. So yeah, that's kind of like a situation where I kind of saw the writing on the wall. Like I kind of want to see the court. They had so much talent and still continue to have so much talent that I decided to go kind of pursue other things and see what else was out there because I only took one official visit and it was my Nebraska official visit. So my advice for recruiting on both football and I was actually talking to a mom of a football recruit, like take your visits.
Oh my God.
I can't preach that enough.
I'm so with you there. I feel like so many people. I went on so many visits where I knew I wasn't going to go there, but it's still the experience. It's meeting people. It's building relationships, connections, and just seeing other things because it is really different at different schools. So that's your piece of recruiting advice to any family members, any young kids watching this. If you have the ability, take those visits. Caroline, I guess it's on me. We'll finish up on this one.
Okay.
I'm curious. For you, what is the number one thing off of the court that you want to accomplish in? However, you said you got 2-3 years. You don't know exactly, but what would you say is one thing outside of your sport? And we even say outside of school. Obviously, you want to graduate, do it the Penn State way, but off the court, out of the classroom, what's one thing that you were looking to accomplish over the next like 2 to 3 years?
I don't know if it's anything specific, but if I can like give my resume to like a recruiter or a job or something like that, and they're just like, damn, how'd you have all the time to do all that? How'd you get all that done? I think if I can hear that one day in a job interview, then I think I've done my job. So that's my goal. Do as much as I possibly can to wow people.
Grind your butt off. That's good advice.
Yep.
You've definitely done it up to this point, and now you'll see a lot more Caroline here. I'm excited. You've already launched your media career, but now it's time to even a step further.
Take it up a little bit.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in to the first episode of Truth Be Told. Next episode, we're going to be talking about Penn State athletics and kind of the track that we're on. It's pretty exciting to be a Nittany Lion.
It's on the up.
It absolutely
Pretty
is.
sick.
It is. It is a good dang time to be a Nittany Lion. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in to this episode. Please leave all your thoughts in the comments below. If you have any questions for Caroline or myself, don't be afraid to comment below. And that wraps it up for today. So thank you guys so much, Caroline. Until next time.
Thank you.